to Shipman and Shipman at the movies. It's been a long time since we've seen you, but we're glad to be back.
Yeah, it's been a really long time. So what we're going to do is cover the biggest blockbuster-ist movies first, and then we're going to move into my dad's like Oscar reruns. So basically what movies were good, what were kind of lackluster, and which ones you should rush out to the movie and see if they're still in theaters.
Okay, let's start off with our favorite movie so far this season and the #1 movie so far this year, Black Panther.
Yeah, I personally loved Black Panther as a comic book fan and a huge fan of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I felt like with that, it did a lot of world building. Mm-hmm. So in that movie alone, I understood what all the characters wanted and saw that they could grow into different people, which was really cool.
I love the whole storyline, how it wasn't just about the superhero, the one person. It was about the Black Panther and the people around him that made him who he was. I think that's the most important part I got from the movie, that a superhero is not a superhero without everyone helping him. And me being a big Batman fan, I kind of related to him a little bit, that hey, Batman is not Batman, at least he has Alfred, Robin, and Commissioner Gordon. Now we saw Black Panther had all these characters around him that made who he was, the Black Panther.
So yeah, we have to give big props to Ryan Coogler, the director of this. He's done Fruitvale Station in the past. He did Creed, I think, in 2016.
Yep, he did.
With Michael B. Jordan, and that brings us into the rest of the cast. Like my dad said, it was amazing. Like Black Panther has this royal guard who are called the Dora Milaje, and every one of them is impeccable. There's the general, her name is Okoye, I believe. She was definitely one of the best characters. I liked the way that they showed her action actually a lot more than Black Panther himself. But yeah, that just speaks to how amazing the cast surrounding him was.
It was. So Cliff, does this get the ship and shake?
I think it does.
It does. The ship and shake.
Cool. So the next movie we're gonna do is Tomb Raider. This came out very recently. Yeah. We actually just saw it the day of filming. It's pretty good.
It was a good movie. I enjoyed it. At first, I was real hesitant about going to see it, but actually, it's a good movie. Good storyline. It's not the over-the-top Wonder Woman type superhero. She's just basically a girl who took care of herself, was in good shape, and was trained slowly how to be this person.
Yeah, Tomb Raider is actually, if you don't know, it's based off of a video game that I think came out in the 90s. Yeah, okay. And before I was born. It came out then, but it's evolved a lot. I think the story for this one is actually based off of a more recent, I think 2015, 2014 version of Tomb Raider. Right. So like Dad said, she's a lot more down to earth with this one. So when she's fighting people, it's realistic. There's a point where she's fighting a guy that's a lot bigger than her, but she uses her environmental I don't know.
Skills.
Yeah, her skills, just everything around her to actually win the fight, which is impressive.
I enjoyed it. The cast was great. No one played over the top. They took time to develop the story. I think that's what made it good. It wasn't rushed. We knew the character's background. We knew the evil guy's background. And when we finally got to the end of the movie, I was like, yeah, this was pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. The main actress is Alicia Vikander. I don't think I've seen her in much before, but she was really good in this. I feel like every beat that she hit was really well paced and everything like that. And then, yeah, go ahead.
And I do believe they will have a sequel to it.
I hope so.
I hope so too.
Cool. Shipman shake?
Shipman shake.
All right.
All right. So I get the pleasure of doing a Wrinkle in Time. First thing I did before I went to see the movie, which I don't know was good or bad, I listened to the book. And then when I went to the movie, I sat there and I kept waiting. I said, okay, what happened to this character and that character? Why are they doing this? But I know it's a film, and when you have a film, you do change things out. But I think my biggest problem with A Wrinkle in Time, they didn't take the time to develop the movie. Why not just go ahead and do a 2-hour, 15-minute movie or a 2-hour, 30-minute movie? If it tells a good story, do it. When you try to cut it down and you leave stuff out, you cheat the reader, people like me, or the book's been around for many years. People who are fans of the book, you read it, you say, okay, so why did they not put all this in there? They had the budget. Well, when I looked at it, they only had $100 million, so that wasn't, I know for us that's a lot of money, but when you make a movie, that's not a lot. But you still sit and wonder why was so much missing. And I think when I left the film, I was like, okay, I can show it to my class. And that's about it. I really wouldn't want to see it again. It was just okay. It wasn't a super movie over the top. The special effects were good, but that's where the budget went instead of developing a better story. So, in my honest opinion, it doesn't get a Shipman shake. Wait for it to come on DVD, or wait if you're a teacher, just rent it for your class.
All right, so the next movie we're going to go into is Ready Player One.
Yes.
Dad, what did you think?
I was slightly disappointed. Again, here I am. I listened to the book before I went to see it. And again, I'm sitting there like, okay, they're leaving out this part. It was totally a rush job. It was the book, to listen to takes you about 15 hours. But when you say, okay, how are they going to shrink this? They might have took out a little too much. Because it's a fantastic book. But the movie, you were like, huh?
Yeah, the movie was directed by Steven Spielberg. And if you've seen any of the trailers for Ready Player One, then you know it is nostalgia-packed with everything from the 80s. So I think the directorial choice was a good pick. My main problem comes with the story. I haven't read the book, so I don't have any preface for what it is. But basically, the plot, as I saw it, was that there's this virtual reality world that everybody in the planet engages in called the Oasis. There's our main character, what's his name? Wade Watts.
Yeah. It's his hero name.
Exactly. Right. That's what his parents said they wanted when they named him. So yeah, he's basically trying to find the 3 keys to the Oasis made by the Halliday, the person who made it. And then he gets to own a company. Like, if you want to do that, but yeah, that's the plot of the movie.
I think if you are a fan of the book, you appreciate the book much more than the movie, because it was so much left out, and it was like they was trying to just fit little pieces of it in there and then come up with their own story, which most of the time we do as screenwriters, but still you're like, okay, some stuff you might not need to leave out. That's what I have now gained such an appreciation for the Harry Potter series. How they took that whole series and they put it into movie form, and they really didn't leave out too much of the book. They made great movies. They might have been 2 hours and 30 minutes or 3 hours long, but they took the time and made great movies. And I appreciate that more than trying to just cram something out and say, hey, look, we made this movie that you read the book to.
Yeah, I feel like the main problem with this movie, regardless of like how it adapted the material in the book, was just that there were no stakes at all. So it made me feel like I didn't really care for the characters at all. So when 30 minutes in, the main protagonist told the female lead that he was in love with her, I was like, okay, but why? You guys have hung out. I've seen you together in the movie a total of 3 times. I don't understand why you like her, or like if she's gonna reciprocate these feelings, but they end up falling in love. So it's, I don't know. It's kind of just left up there and in the air. But yeah. Besides that, I think there was really poor character work in this movie. Any of the side characters I don't think were developed that well. I don't think anybody really changed in this movie. And it really just felt like a young adult like movie, like a downgraded Hunger Games, right, except for the CGI, I would say. Yeah, the CGI was actually kind of amazing for the amount it had in this movie. Like, there are rumors that it might be nominated for the animation Oscar this year just because of how much CGI was in it.
that's where the budget went for this movie. They put the majority of the budget on the CGI, which if you in a virtual world, I guess you have to.
Yeah. Does it get the Shipman shake?
I'm afraid this will be the very first movie that doesn't get the Shipman shake.
I have to agree with that.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay. So now we're gonna start with our Oscar review. These are movies that are now on video, and yes or no, we're gonna say we'll recommend whether you see them or not. Our first movie we're gonna talk about is the movie that won the Oscar, Shape of Water.
I did not enjoy Shape of Water. I think my main problem with it was just that while the visuals were amazing, like the actual fish man guy person that they had in the movie, he looked incredible. Like I didn't think it was an actor with makeup. I just was engrossed in the fact that it was a fish man on screen. I was like, whoa, what's that?
And they did a good job with his costume.
Yeah, that was really good. My main problem with this movie, however, is once again the story of it. I feel like the story was really lackluster. Like the script just could have used some major fine tuning. Yeah. It
seemed almost like a comic book movie. It was at certain points you were like, this is unrealistic, and it just seemed. If you had storyboards up, you were watching storyboards instead of watching a well-developed movie. Should it have been nominated? Maybe. Should it have won Best Picture of the Year? No.
Yeah. To talk about that storyboard idea, there was a point in the movie, this is not spoilers, but who really cares if it's spoilers? It's kind of a bad movie. Yeah. But, okay, there's a point in the movie where the main female protagonist, she is asking the side character for his help. So they're in the hallway of their apartment building. She's begging him. She's asking him. Can you help him? The fish man I'm in love with is being discriminated against. Can you please help him? And her roommate is like, no, I'm not going to do that. And he leaves to go to work. And it's just it's kind of bad. He goes to a diner, and this is set in like the 1960s.
60s.
Yeah,
60s.
It's set in the 1960s. So he goes to this diner, and he's gay. So he tries to hit on the waiter there, and the waiter is revealed to be a homophobic racist, all within the span of about 60 seconds. So it went from apartment to diner to, oh, we're back at the apartment again. Yeah. And he's like, okay, I'll help you. And the main female protagonist has seemingly done nothing in that time. She's dressed the same. She pretty much looks the exact same. So it's like, why is that so convenient? Like, this is not realistic, even for a movie with a big fish man in it.
I agree.
Yeah.
So,
once again, this is just an episode of First.
Another one that doesn't get the Shipman shake.
Yeah.
Sorry. All right, the movie that won Best Animated Film of the Year, Coco. Actually, I was working one day, had to get off work just to escape, and I said, okay, I need to go see something that I know I haven't seen before. And this movie just stuck around. It's been in theaters forever. The movie Coco is actually good. It's really good. Pixar did an excellent job. I say, my highly recommend, I'm not gonna hold you long, go see Coco. Even if you don't have to see it with your kids, rent it now, enjoy it. The song in it, it should have won Best Song of the Year, and it did. I love it. Great song. Great lullaby for people that have babies. Go see Coco. It does get the Shipman shake. Another Oscar-nominated movie was The Post. It had Tom Hanks, Meryl Streep. It was about the Washington Post right before it became this giant mega newspaper that we know in the world. I love the story. Should it got nominated for an Oscar? Yes. Should it have won Best Picture? No. It was just a really good movie. Because Meryl Streep, I mean, everything. The lady's been nominated for an Oscar, 25 times? She's great. Tom Hanks, he was fabulous in the movie. The story was good. It was one of the best pictures of the year, but it was not the best picture of the year. When you're at home one night and you're looking for a movie to watch The Post. Great movie. Highly recommend it. It gets the Shipman shake. All right, this movie, The Darkest Hour, with Gary Oldman, who won Best Actor. Absolute fabulous job. I forgot it was him. I saw him before I saw the movie. I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna go see Alfred from Batman be this guy, William Churchill.
It's not Alfred.
He's not Alfred.
It's Commissioner
Gordon. Oh, Commissioner Gordon. Oh, sorry. It was Commissioner Gordon. So, when I see the movie, I see Churchill. The whole movie, he's fabulous. And this year I was kind of afraid. I said, I don't know if he can win Best Actor. But I said, after seeing this movie, he deserved the Best Actor role. Fabulous job, fabulous movie. Hey, again, this is one of those movies when you're sitting at home on a Saturday or a Sunday, you have nothing to do, watch it. Rent this movie, great movie. It gives great history. If you love history, you're definitely going to love it. Go see The Darkest Hour. Shipman thumbs up. Well, not Shipman thumbs up. What? Shipman shake. Now, my next movie is another World War II movie, Dunkirk. It's directed by, what's the guy name? I forgot.
Christopher Nolan.
Christopher Nolan. Absolute fabulous. We mentioned Batman earlier. He directed The Dark Knight. Excellent movie. If you're into World War II war movies, you will love this one. He did a fantastic job with the direction, with the story. It tied everything in together. And you know he has his own little special twist every time you go see one of his movies. Should it have been nominated? Yes. Should have been the best movie of the year? Close. It was real close. It might have should have won on a different, maybe because it didn't have an A-rated actor in it. That might be why it didn't win Best Movie of the Year. Excellent movie. It gets the Shipman shake. And go see Dunkirk.
Should have won Best Picture.
This was one of them years. I don't know. Actually, Darkest Hour.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Why do you think Shape of Water won instead?
I think the Academy just picks something weird every year. Honestly, it's getting where their choices of best movies are not really cinematic history. The last time I think a movie that deserved best movie won one was the 12 Years a Slave. I'm not saying it just because it had a black cast. It was a black. It wasn't I can't say it's a black movie. I'm just saying because the acting was good, the cinematography was good. 12 Years a Slave was a masterpiece. If you had to show one movie for each year, that should be the best movie of the year. You say, hey, in 1949, you show this movie. Yeah, I know it. Best movie of the year. You say in 2017, a Fishman movie. It's not the best movie of the year. So, the Academy, I don't know about them.
What do you think about I, Tonya? Did you see that? I, Tonya?
Okay, so one movie I saw on my own was I, Tonya. This movie was actually kind of amazing. So it was about the Tonya Harding controversy in the 1980s, and that was before I was born. So, okay. Hi, Cam. How you doing? My old friend. Okay. So it was about the Tonya Harding controversy in the 1980s, where her ex-husband hired people to break Nancy Kerrigan's kneecap and all of that. This movie kind of takes a different approach in talking about it. It spends about the first hour and a half not talking about it very deliberately. And basically it's framed up as, Tonya Harding, her ex-husband, and Tonya Harding, her ex-husband, her mom, and the people who live in that town that she's from and grew up in that we see a lot of, basically are being interviewed about the whole situation, but it's really more about their lives and growing up and like what led up to the situation, as they call it. It's really great. There are a couple sequences which I would point out as spectacular. I think one is when Tonya Harding eventually splits from her husband. There's a sequence where it's one take and they're going all throughout his house in the different rooms and seeing how he basically seeing how he deals with the breakup, because it's a really big thing for him. Let's see. Ooh, okay, acting. The acting? The acting was impeccable. So the main character, Tonya Harding, was played by Margot Robbie, who we've seen in a lot of movies with Will Smith. And Sebastian Stan plays her ex-husband, well, her boyfriend, husband, and then ex-husband, basically, as we see throughout the movie. It's really good. The only gripe I would really have with this movie was that at some point, Margot Robbie, who's currently like 35, was trying to play a 15-year-old, and it was unbelievable. But she is a really great actor, so I would recommend you go out and see I, Tonya. Wait, no, I would recommend that you go out and buy I, Tonya on DVD or rent it on demand. It's actually a pretty great movie.
Mr. Shipman's class, Mr. Shipman's class.